Good afternoon, everyone. I am so happy to see you again. I'm hosting a spring-themed dinner party this Memorial Day weekend, and the menu will feature some of the local ingredients that you and I purchased together yesterday at local farm stores. It will also include some ingredients right from my own garden. Here's a quick look at the menu. I'm serving asparagus soup with creme fraiche and lemon for the first course, baby back ribs on a bed of chive mashed potatoes and a side of unusually delightful grated carrot salad for the main course, and local ice cream topped with luxurious rhubarb compote for the grand finale. The dinner party is tomorrow, but you know me. I like to prepare whatever I can a day ahead of time. This afternoon, we are going to make the asparagus soup and the rhubarb compote. And for the asparagus soup with creme fraiche and lemon, I need to start with a large onion that I will just roughly chop. I created this asparagus soup recipe way back in 2015, and I have been making it every year since. It's really delicious. And you can serve it hot or warm or even cold from the fridge. Then I need the equivalent of 2 bunches of asparagus. That's about 2 pounds. And I do grow asparagus in my garden. I just don't have enough of it to make the soup. I just want to roughly cut this asparagus into about 2-inch pieces. I'll go over the other ingredients while we're at the cooktop. So I have my 5-quart Dutch oven here, and I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of butter. You could use salted or unsalted butter, your choice. As the butter melts, we can add the onion. Then I need some salt and some grinds of black pepper. And then we can toss the onions to coat them with the butter. And then I'm going to lower the heat and cover the pot and let the onions sweat until they are tender. That will take from 3 to 5 minutes. Now, once the onions have softened, you don't want them to color at all. Go ahead and add the asparagus. Stir that in. Now I can add my homemade chicken stock and exactly 1 cup of dry white wine. The wine is going to give this soup a lot of flavor. Bring the soup to a boil and then cover the pot and reduce the heat. Simmer for 20 minutes or until the asparagus is soft enough to puree in a blender. Right, our asparagus is now tender enough to puree, but before we hit the blender, I want to fish out some of the asparagus tips that we can reserve for garnish. I'm using my Vitamix here, but I think you could puree the soup in just about any blender, or you could use an immersion blender. I have several immersion blenders. Well, here's another nice tip we can save. Yeah, I have several immersion blenders, several as in two, but I just find it's easier to puree things in a jar blender. And I'm getting a very nice asparagus and onion and chicken stock facial here. Now I want to quickly rinse out this pot. Put the lid on. And here we go. And there we have it, a very beautiful green pureed asparagus soup. Now, if the soup is too thick for your liking, you can always thin it out with more chicken stock or more wine. And you can guess which one of those two ingredients I would use. Now, to really jazz up this soup, I'm going to add the juice of a lemon and 1 8-ounce tub of creme fraiche. This soup has a wonderful perfume of asparagus, lemon, and wine. This is the kind of soup that I wish restaurants would serve. It's so easy to make, we can have it just about any time right at home. I want to have a quick taste just to make sure the soup doesn't need any extra salt. This is sheer heaven. I'm going to let this soup cool uncovered to room temperature, and then I will cover the pot and pop the soup into the refrigerator overnight. Meantime, we can move on to the rhubarb compote. If you've never had it, rhubarb compote is tart and sweet and utterly delicious. I love it on roasted duck breasts and roasted chicken and, well, all kinds of things. And of course, it's wonderful served on top of Greek yogurt or vanilla ice cream. And this rhubarb came directly from my garden. But this is the time of year when you can find rhubarb at just about any supermarket, at least here in the Northeast. And if you live in an area where rhubarb does not grow, then I suspect you can find it frozen at the supermarket. And I have 1 pound, roughly 1 pound of rhubarb here, and I'm going to chop. Then we can throw this into a non-reactive pan. I'm using enameled cast iron here. You could use stainless steel. And there are only 3 ingredients in this ruby red condiment. So we have our rhubarb, and then we need a 1/2 cup or thereabouts of regular sugar, and 2 tablespoons of water. We want to give this a quick stir just to combine everything. Then I'm going to cook this over medium heat just until the rhubarb softens. That will take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. And in all of 7 minutes, our rhubarb compote is made. And it smells just fantastic. Now, I'm going to let this cool to room temperature, and then I will transfer it to a jar and pop the jar into the refrigerator overnight. And then tomorrow, we will make our grated carrot salad and our baby back ribs, and we can set the table and we can make a flower arrangement. So sweet dreams, friends. I will see you tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. So our dinner party is this evening. So today we are going to make the grated carrot salad and the baby back ribs. And then we're going to assemble everything. But first, I need coffee, so I can drink while I work. Much needed. So I'm going over all of the ingredients for this carrot salad, which I have never made before, but I found the recipe on YouTube and it got really good reviews. So I thought we should try it for our spring-themed dinner. And the only thing I am missing is fresh cilantro, which we have in the garden. And here is my cilantro. We had a lot of rain last night and this morning, so I don't even have to wash the cilantro. So I need carrots. These are the carrots that you and I bought together at Hawthorne Valley Farm in yesterday's video. They are very good size, and of course they are organic, but I'm supposed to peel them according to the recipe. And these carrots were grown at Hawthorne Valley Farm, which is only 15 minutes from my house. So definitely a local ingredient. And I want to trim the ends from the carrots. And I will save all of the peelings and the trimmings for vegetable stock. I just pop all of the trimmings into a Ziploc bag and then I freeze them. Okay. I'm going to set these carrots aside, and then, per the recipe, I need a white onion, which I did not have, so I'm using a red onion, locally grown. And I'm going to chop this and then let the onion soak briefly in cold water. And the reason for that is to reduce some of the onion's pungency. And I need some parsley. Now I'm going to let my food processor do most of the chopping and grating for this salad. So I'm really just prepping some of these ingredients. And this parsley is from the berry farm. Well, it was grown at the berry farm, which is only 4 minutes from my house. And these stems can go over here. They will be frozen along with the carrot peelings. Now I need to fetch my food processor. And we can put the parsley in the food processor along with the cilantro. The cilantro smells just great. I had my food processor backwards. Now I want to add some garlic. I'm using garlic paste, although the recipe calls for fresh cloves of garlic. And I need some avocado oil or extra virgin olive oil. We need some ground cumin. Apple cider vinegar. Mixy. And we can add the soaked onion. It already smells terrific. Now we can chop the onions further. Now I need to switch out my chopping blade for my shredding or grating blade. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Success. I just need to cut up my carrots a little to make sure they will fit through the tube here. And here we go. And we can transfer this to a bowl. By the way, this was really easy to do. Now, I also need to add some salt and pepper to this, but I wanted to wait to add those ingredients before, well, just before serving time, because I don't want the salad to become soggy. You can give this a good mix. I have to give this a quick taste. The salad is absolutely delicious, even without the salt. But to make it look prettier, I want to add more green to it. So I'm going to quickly mince up some more parsley. So all I need to do now is cover this unbelievably delicious carrot salad and then pop it into the refrigerator. Then I'm going to clean up my workstation here, and we can head to the local flower store. I want to make an arrangement for the table. Today's flower arrangement will be created from whatever is available and affordable here at the local flower shop. I plan to arrange the flowers in an antique soup tureen. Our next stop is American Pie in Chatham, New York. I hope to find some large, neutral-colored placemats here. A tablecloth is not required when placemats are on the table. Mission accomplished. I did find placemats. We're home again. Here are the flowers. Here are some very nice placemats, which we may or may not use for a dinner. I'm going to put the flowers in water just to hold them while we go ahead and prepare the baby back ribs, which is the main course for our spring-themed dinner party. Now, I found this recipe for Instant Pot ribs on the internet, and it got great reviews, so we are going to try it together. And the nice thing about this recipe is that it involves no aluminum foil. Usually when you cook ribs, you wrap them tightly in aluminum foil and then bake the ribs low and slow for many hours. These ribs cook in 25 minutes plus a 10-minute natural pressure release. So I need apple juice. Pour this right into the Instant Pot. Apple cider vinegar. The recipe calls for liquid smoke, but I don't have any, and my local supermarket didn't have any. So I'm going to substitute a sprig of sage leaves from my garden. Sage has a nice smoky aroma. I love it. And here are my baby back ribs. Now I will link the recipe I'm following in the description below. Now, sometimes ribs will have a membrane on the back, but it looks like that membrane has already been removed. If that membrane is intact, you simply remove it. Blotting this dry with paper towels. And then I want to season both sides with seasoning salt. You could use your favorite rub here. I can tell you right now that these Instant Pot ribs turned out just fantastic. I will never make ribs any other way. So now we are to wrap this into a circle and pop it right into the Instant Pot. Then I need to wash my hands before I continue. Here, we are all washed up here. So now I can put the lid on. And then I'm going to move my Instant Pot over here because we still need to arrange the flowers, and I need my work surface for that. To pressure cook for 25 minutes. Going to do the flower arrangement in my soup tureen here. The flower store did not have a huge selection today because last week was Mother's Day, which really wiped them out. So they are waiting to restock. And that's all right, because if we don't have enough flowers, we can always add some from the garden. This is Italian ruscus. I'm going to use it to surround the rim of the urn. And I have some floral wire here that will help me to pin the ruscus in place. It didn't hold at all. This wire is too thin for the job, so I have a thicker gauge wire right here. That worked. Daisies. And I have some pink. I think this is Lysianthus. Let's put you right here. Giant allium. We used all of the giant allium from my garden in another arrangement a week ago. And snappies, snapdragons. Now I planted, or you and I planted, about 100 snapdragons up in the kitchen garden the other day. They're the snapdragons that you and I grew together from seed, and they are flourishing in all of the rain that we've had recently. Rain and cool temperatures. Don't like you there. Let's see. Now, I think this arrangement is much too white, so I'm going to grab some pink dwarf lilac from the garden. Lilacs from the garden, and they smell just heavenly. I am lucky to live in a cool climate where lilacs will grow. Oh yes, oh, these are just perfect for this arrangement. Lilacs are just what this arrangement needed. Well, for some inexpensive flowers from the florist shop and with some free lilacs from my own garden, I think we have a fairly respectable arrangement for the table. And the arrangement certainly screams spring. Set this aside. Clean up. I will save all of the leftover ruscus because this greenery lasts and lasts. It can last for months. And then you and I will go into the dining room to set the table. The neutral tone placemats that you and I found together at American Pie are just right for this dinner party. They are large enough to accommodate my Spode dinner plate and soup plate, plus the necessary silverware and water and wine goblets. And our Instant Pot baby back ribs are fully cooked now. That was 25 minutes at high pressure, followed by a 10-minute natural pressure release. I want to remove the ribs to a baking tray that is lined with a rack. See if we can do this. Oops, they're falling apart. That's how tender they've become. There are my sage leaves. Oh, this is super, super tender. Now we need to brush the ribs with some barbecue sauce. This is my own homemade sauce, but of course you could use store-bought if you like. I want to really slather this sauce on. Now I'm going to keep these ribs warm in a 200-degree Fahrenheit oven, and then shortly before serving time, we will pop the ribs under the broiler for 1, maybe 2 minutes, just to caramelize the barbecue sauce. As a bed for the Instant Pot baby back ribs, I'm going to make some mashed potatoes, and I offer no apologies whatsoever for using dehydrated potato flakes. I love them, my spouse loves them, all of our friends love them. So I have water, and then I need some milk. Butter, salt, and the potato flakes. Now, I know a lot of people are appalled whenever I make instant mashed potatoes, but in truth, they are wonderful. And all of the viewers who have gone ahead and actually tried my recipe for instant mashed potatoes have told me they love them. All I have to do is cover this and then pop it into the refrigerator. And shortly before serving time, I will put the potatoes in the microwave oven for exactly 6 minutes, and the mashed potatoes will come out perfectly. And I'm going to dress up those potatoes with some fresh snipped chives from my garden. Now all I have to do is slice up some bread that can accompany the asparagus soup with creme fraiche and lemon. And this is some ciabatta bread that was made locally. This can go into the dining room. All of our food is prepped, our flowers are arranged, our table is set. All I need to do now is light a fire in the dining room and prepare for my guests. To serve this dinner, I reheated the asparagus soup on the stovetop and then garnished each serving with a drizzle of cream, a few tips of the asparagus we reserved, and a dusting of black pepper. For the main course, I gave the mashed potatoes a sprinkling of fresh chives and topped them with a portion of the baby back ribs. Then I added a serving of the grated carrot salad. The potatoes, ribs, and carrot salad were all shockingly delicious. Dessert was a breeze. I simply scooped some locally made vanilla ice cream into crystal dessert goblets. Then I topped each serving with a heaping spoonful of the rhubarb compote and a fresh mint leaf. This was the perfect finish to our spring-themed dinner party. We all swooned over it. My guests have left, and let me tell you, this is one of the best dinners to ever emerge from my kitchen. Everybody loved the asparagus soup with creme fraiche and lemon. Everybody loved that carrot salad, which was new to me. And let me tell you about the baby back ribs. They were so incredibly tender and flavorful. They were quite honestly the best ribs I have ever tasted in my life. And I hope you will give them a try someday. And the ice cream with the rhubarb compote was out of this world delicious. Everybody loved it. And I love that you were here while we put this meal together. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you will give it a thumbs up. And please post a comment below because I always love hearing from you. I'll have another video out on either Thursday or Friday this week. Until then, please treat yourself extra well, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye for now, friends.